So one of the big questions that we get a lot is how do you set up your tri bike for carrying all the stuff that you need to do whatever distance triathlon? And we've all seen those photos of the bikes in T1 where there's stuff just taped everywhere. So what we're going to do now is Mark's going to set up his bike for a half Ironman, and we're going to go through a couple of different ways that you could store all the stuff that you'll need. So Mark, what do you need for your half Ironman?
Well, it's pretty common. Everybody does it a little bit different, so we'll do a little bit of a mix here. But this is a hot half Ironman. I'm going to carry 3 bottles, 1 big one, 2 smaller ones. I'm going to carry all the spare gear I need in case I get a flat. So I'm going to run clinchers now. Clinchers are super, super fast these days, great rolling distance and aero. So a tube, a CO2 in a head or a pump. We'll use a pump in this case. A spare CO2, which I carry for karma, because if somebody else gets a flat on the side of the road, you give it away, it's awesome. Tire lever, a 4 mil, because something's always rattling, it can happen, right? And then from a nutrition standpoint, a banana, just because to have regular food in your stomach before the run's critical. 4 gels, some Cliff blocks.
We're doing 2 comparisons. The first is what would most triathletes typically do. So nutrition taped across the top tube, spares bundled up and taped onto the seat post, and 3 bottles in their different cage positions. And the second one is a slightly more integrated approach. In the case of the Shiv, which we have here, we're using the fuel cell in the front triangle to hold all the nutrition as well as all the spares. And one of the bottles is now in the integrated fuselage hydration system. So all this stuff is kind of more cleanly tucked away, and we're going to take a look at what that drag difference is. All right, so we just ran that comparison with Mark and his setup, and the data is in. It was a huge difference. So between the traditional setup with everything taped on the bike to something a little bit more integrated, even though the stuff is all there and visually it may not have looked like a humongous change, it was a 7%, roughly a 7% drop in drag.
And that's all drag. That's bike, rider, helmet, all the stuff going on.
Which is huge. And translated into time over our standard 40-kilometer distance, that represents roughly a 76-ish second savings, which is pretty big. A lot of you guys are always asking about what you can do to make your setup faster and get a little lower times out on course. This is one of those things where it's either free or nearly free, so it's a really good bang for your buck upgrade.
And really, if we look at what that's kind of equivalent to, what we just saved in time there, that's like upgrading to a nice set of aero wheels versus just a, kind of your stock wheels. So that's a pretty big deal overall. Now, obviously, we looked at this on my Shiv, but it's something you can do on pretty much any bike, road bike, time trial, triathlon bike, whatever it may be. If it looks clean and looks tidy, it probably is more aero. The less stuff that you have hanging out there, the faster you're gonna go.
Absolutely. So again, if you guys have any more questions that you'd like us to take a look at in here, please send them out through Facebook or Twitter, #AeroIsEverything. Thanks.